I'm wearing shades for several reasons. One, including the fact that I just want to wear them. I want to talk about something that was on my mind. I was looking at some articles today, and I saw something on a post, and it was just about these young men who murdered and killed this lady and her 2 young children, forced her to watch them do horrifying things, stab her children, and then ultimately decapitate them, saw their heads off. And then they murdered her. And at first I was like, how do they know this? But of course, this is the account of the killer. And, you know, in my head, I'm like, God, you know, I actually started to tear up, and I got angry, I got mad, I was just so many different things. Like, how do people do this? And the question is always, when I ask that question, the truth is, it's not a person. A person acted it out. They're under demonic influences. This in no way minimizes their actions, because everything we do, every choice we make, guys, no matter how far sin will take us, we're ultimately responsible, because we choose these, we make choices. We start off small with little things, and then it escalates into more. But what I looked at here is the fact that this is a soul. These young men took the life of this mother and her children and had fun with it by feeling like, yeah, we're gonna make you watch us kill your children. And I want to give y'all this scene. I need to move on with this video because I don't want to drag it out. I want to talk about the dynamics of death here for a second. I'm gonna let you understand what happens. And this is also going to touch on police brutality and all those things that we're seeing going on. And this, we're going to also talk about just when you, as any person, takes the life of another individual. All right? We understand things happen, but guess what? We're talking about when you just go out there, you want to just murder and kill somebody because you want to, and because you have the power to murder and kill and shed blood. I'm not talking about the wars and the things that have happened over time and things that's happened between countries. I'm not talking about that type of thing. The area in which I'm saying here is people that you just decide you're going to just kill somebody because you're angry, you want to, you feel that they're not worth it, and just for sport. In the Bible, Cain killed his brother Abel. And when Jesus asked him, when God asked him, where is your brother? He said, am I my brother's keeper? So that was one of the first acts of murder. Not only that, the first act of, you know, nonchalance, indifference, and, you know, failure to take responsibility. But what God said to him was, your brother's blood cries out from the ground. In the book of Numbers, there is a section in there that talks about when God was instructing Moses to give all the Israelites their shares of land and things of that nature, and when he was talking about the shares of land that the Levites were supposed to get, there was a place that they called the Levites had an area in their portion of the land where it was a place of refuge. So if someone committed a murder, they went to this place of refuge. They could kind of hide out there, if you want to say. But at the same time, if the person who has murdered someone, maliciously murdered and took someone's life, then they were given a refuge there to kind of hide them from the slayer. See, because once you murdered, there was someone who's going to come and kill you. And so they were given refuge there, and then they brought this person before the people. And if it is determined that this person did actually negligently take the life of another person, you did it because you wanted to, they were delivered over to the slayer and their life was taken. And then, of course, if the person did not actually do it on purpose, blah, 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 then they were given refuge within the walls of where the Levites were staying, in this place where they gave people refuge. However, if that person having been exonerated or given refuge there and asylum when they did not kill someone intentionally, and then if they chose to go outside the walls of the palace and they meet the slayer outside the palace, then the slayer then had all rights to kill that person, innocent or not, because they chose to go outside the walls. What am I saying to you in all this stuff that I gave you? The person who deliberately killed, there is a slayer that immediately starts to look for them to take their blood. And I want you to understand that when you go out and you kill people, whether it's called, well, it's the form of police brutality, meaning when you shoot someone, you choose to shoot and murder them and kill them, or a criminal that just chooses that you're going to take the life of a person. I want you to understand that there is immediately a slayer that is going to be in pursuit for you. I'm not encouraging anyone to take anyone's life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the moment that you extract and release someone's soul out of their body, because you can. The minute their blood spills on the ground, it begins to cry out to God, and immediately there is a slayer in the supernatural that looks for you and seeks you out. Not only that, the blood cries out. You may have washed off the evidence. You may have been removed from the crime scene. You may have been even deemed to be not guilty in some cases, or just life without parole, or whatever it may be. I want you to understand that supernaturally there is a slayer that is out for you. You must understand, when you spill the blood of a human being, I don't care if you think that they're dark and they are not people and they are monkeys, or if you felt they didn't deserve it. I don't care if you felt they was poor white trash and you felt they deserved to die. When you decide that you're going to play God and you take someone's body and separate it from their soul, there is immediately in the supernatural a slayer that seeks you out. And when you are washing your face long after the blood has been taken off of your hand, you wash your face, but your hands are still filthy. Your hands are still bloodstained. When you eat your food, you're eating the blood of that person because you use this hand to kill. Use your hands to kill. So the hands you use to lift your baby and to hug your wife and to open your door and to start your car and to do whatever is stained with the blood of that person's life, the blood of the person you took. And there is a slayer that's going to follow you. I know a lot of times we get very upset and we get mad and we say, oh, they're getting away. How could they get off? Men and women, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, nobody is getting away. My God, when someone does not get any jail time for murder, you better believe it's because there is something else in store, where prison and jail will be too comfortable and too good. I'm not here, again, I repeat, I'm not here to tell anyone to retaliate against anyone, to go eye for an eye, to do any acts of violence. But be still and know that when you spill the blood of man, when anyone spills the blood of a man or a woman and a child or anybody, they don't get away. There is a slayer that follows them. And unless, I'm telling you, and when that person dies, when these people are doing these mass shootings and they murder people, and then they turn the gun on themselves, they meet the slayer on the other side and for eternity. There is a life after death. A lot of people think when you're killing people and you're shooting them down and you're doing whatever, whether you're doing it as a criminal, whether you're doing it as someone who's just twisted and want to use the law as a means of personal vendetta, when the minute you take the soul out of the body, you send that person to a whole different place, and they're standing there looking at you, standing over their body, and you're going to give an account to God. And you may not believe in God now, But when you go home and you make your coffee and you check out your tomato garden and you pat your dog, just know that your hands are saturated with their blood. And that killer, that slayer, is following you everywhere. And it looks at your household. It looks at everything, and everything you touch, you stain it with the blood of the victim's life that you took. Those people, those young men that killed and murdered that woman and her 2 young children, one of them just got life in prison. And to us, we go, oh, that's it? Oh, no, my friends. It's a lot deeper than that. You see, that was the earthly sentence. There's something else that's happened in the heavenlies. There's something else that is yet to come. And I'm not wishing death. I'm not wishing anything on anybody. But I want you to understand that when you decide that you are God and you want to take someone's life, you want to release someone's spirit out of their body, okay, you send their spirits back to their Father. And hopefully that's where they go. You know? But when you choose to do that, know that you will stand before God to give an account for what you did. But say it doesn't end there, you see. It's not just when you give an account to God. In your life, just know the slayer follows you. And the slayer is that same spirit that cajoled you and enticed you to take the life of another. It's simply a boomerang effect. Think twice before you take a life, because you're not getting away with it. All right, guys.